JBM here. Gonna give a short horror review on the 2005-2006 horror movie An American Haunting. This isn't American Horror Story, the TV series that's going on right now. This is American Haunting, a ghost spirit movie. Most of the cast isn't even American, but it's an American Haunting. I'm going to go over the cast first. Donald Sutherland, playing his typical depressing role the last 10 years. He's playing the father, John Bell. And, just like all his other roles, like Cold Mountain, Pride and Prejudice, Fool's Gold. He's just playing an old guy giving away fresh meat daughters. I mean, it's got to be depressing. At least he gets to handle a gun in this movie, though. He's a great actor. You get to love to see him. The girl who it focuses on, who gets possessed in this movie, is Rachel Hurd-Wood. Apparently, she played Wendy in Peter Pan, that 2003 movie. I remember seeing the Pirates of the Caribbean that summer, and I remember seeing that poster for the movie, and I was thinking it was going to be big, but half the times they reboot things, then they reboot them like 4 years later, and they retell the same story, so then it just does. And like, kind of like Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, they did 2 of those movies this year. I mean, Mirror, Mirror with Julia Roberts, and they did Snow White and the Huntsman with Kristen Stewart and Charlize Theron. Yeah, I mean, it just takes away from the franchises. It's even harder to get people to buy into different reboots nowadays. Anyway, Sissy Spacek is also in it. Doesn't do much in it, but she's in it. She played Carrie, so she's used to horror movies. Also, James D'Arcy. This guy's British or whatever. He got the role to play Norman Bates and Anthony Perkins, a dual role in the Hitchcock movie that's coming out, where Scarlett Johansson's playing Janet Leigh and Anthony Hopkins is playing Alfred Hitchcock. It's about the making of Psycho. Yeah, I could see the resemblance of Norman or Anthony Perkins, but that's a tough role. And maybe you know who jacked Anthony Perkins' swag in acting wise is Topher Grace. They could have hired him to play Norman Bates in that movie. Anyway, get on to the movie now. It's based on the Bell Witch legend, which is a famous witch legend from early colonial American times. It's what inspired the Blair Witch Project. Instead of calling that the Bell Witch, they tried to do a spin-off where it was native to Maryland and whatnot, and that's how the Blair Witch is. It's just based off of a story, and they just do improv, found footage style Blair Witch. They really need to reboot that franchise officially. Anyway, this movie feels like The Lady in Black, that Daniel Radcliffe movie that came out this year. Speaking of that, Hammer Films is making a comeback in the horror industry. They did Let Me In, I think, and now they did The Woman in Black. They have the rights to a bunch of horror franchises, so that's going to be awesome for the future of horror movie fans. Hammer Horror is making a comeback. Anyway, and it also feels like The Village 2004, M. Night Shyamalan, and The Haunting of Emily Rose. And it's just, I can't handle it. It's just Exorcist filler scenes. Like, they were going for the Exorcist feel throughout it. It's like the exorcism of Emily Rose, and also they do a little girl filler. This is totally a teenage girl horror movie that they'd watch as a sleepover. This isn't one that you'd throw in on Halloween or something, but it has that awesome outdoors feel. I think they should have shown more of it. I remember seeing it when it came out on DVD in 2006 or whatever, and I thought it was more scenes outside of the house, but it's a bunch of scenes at night of like the girl Rachel Hurd-Wood who looks hot in the beginning, then isn't hot. She was only 14 or 15 when they filmed this. Yeah, it gets kind of terrible. You know what I'm saying if you've seen this. And it's about the curse of the. It's about this family that gets cursed, and but you don't even get to see the cursing. Well, the bitch, he screws over some lady over some land, and they go to church court. But the church doesn't even help him try and drive the spirits out, even though I think they do. I don't know. They do a terrible job of showing it, and they even talk to like the teacher who like works at the local like school, and he's just like trying to like reason with it. That's who James D'Arcy's character is. He's a decent actor, and he's just like, there has to be some kind of logic to it. And they show the little girl. Hold up, if you see my mouse here, this is the little girl. It's totally like, who thinks little girls are scary? That's such a 16-year-old, 13-year-old girl thing to be afraid of. So I'm saying, you better not throw this in as a horror fan. If you have other horror fan guy friends coming over to watch a movie, they'll be like, what the hell? It's only watchable once every like 7 years. And they try to do like this, the curse lives on scene. No, and they try to make it like it's a suggestion that the father like sexually abused her and it influenced the demon inside of her. But you really don't get that. I didn't even really get it watching the film. That's what I came up with reading the Wikipedia page, because they really don't make that clear in the film or whatever. And then they try and do a curse lives on scene in like modern time, where like the bitch that lives in the house who owns the photos or something recovers the documents, and her daughter's like getting raped, and you're like, I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it, Courtney Solomon, the director. Let's just roll the credits, because it was just a waste of time. And then John Bell, like, pushes himself into drinking, like, cough syrup. He, like, overdoses on cough syrup, DJ Screw style. And then they're just like, your love has broken the curse. And the girl's like, the demon gets out of the girl after John Bell, Down Sutherland, her dad, who raped her, kills himself. And you're like, wow, your love has broken the curse. I'm done. 6.5 out of 10. This was JBM from Villain Radio, MrCreepshow09, Villain News. Check out all those channels. Comment, discuss horror movies. It's free to subscribe. I have like 900 subscriptions on YouTube. Check it all out. This was JBM.